Good. So first, some business. My team is just coming to the office right now and believes I'm on a European vacation. So I'm going to take a selfie of the group and visualize that I've just given you a virtual schnapps. So everybody give me a thumbs up. There we go. Okay, I can send that back. I have proof. So I'm from Ecellix. Jerry Schwartz, I'm the CEO and co-founder. My colleague Jason is in the back. You'll know us by the green lanyard when you're looking for us. We are announcing today for the first time in Europe a major innovation in lithium-ion batteries. So what we're having in the current marketplace is really an era of change. And so, as you know, the light bulb was very little unchanged from the 1800s till recently, and suddenly we have all sorts of new light bulbs. Likewise, the cars. 1908 was the introduction of the Model T, the first production car. At least that's the view in America. And now we're in an evolution to electric vehicles. So what's next? How many of you have an electric car? Raise your hand. Pretty good sampling. How many of you have a handy or a mobile? Should be everybody. What's the key technology for each of those? It's the battery. In the car, 40% of the cost of a car is the battery, the electric battery pack. So what we're all about is basically reimagining what the lithium-ion battery is. 1991 was the introduction by Sony of a technology that had been in the works for a while, of a lithium-ion battery, which is a chemical reaction that creates the ability to store and distribute energy. That has been little changed in those 30 years. And the key components are the anode, the cathode, electrolyte, and the separator. So the anode is the negative electrode. That's where all the energy is stored when you charge. And the cathode is the other side of the equation where energy is distributed. And so we are really a novel application of the anode. And we're at the tail end of really about 20 years of innovation of trying to replace graphite, because it's very low energy. And we're trying to replace it with something that actually is much higher energy, and silicon has been the candidate for many, many years. So the quest for a more capable battery has been going on, as I say, for quite some time. You'll see on the left, the first wave was graphite, and that still is the standard. They just build bigger and bigger battery packs. The new Rivian, I think, is almost a 200 kilowatt battery pack, so it's very heavy, very large in volume, and very expensive. So that's how the range anxiety is being dealt with now. We're providing a solution with silicon that's going to do 30 to 50% increased energy in a much smaller space. So this is really the innovation of the package. The middle is the people that you hear about the most, where hundreds of millions have been invested. They've been pursuing a technology from nanoengineering, from small particles, because it solves one of the key problems with silicon, which is expansion and contraction when it charges and becomes materially unstable. Our solution is something that came out of the national labs in the United States, 2014-15 timeframe, where we start with very large particles, very inexpensive, and are able to create a high-energy battery that's very flexible for use and is very inexpensive. So why are we important? Here's the benefit that you get. You get a battery that has 1/3 lighter, 1/3 smaller volume, 1/3 cheaper in terms of cost. And we actually believe that we can come in at a cost very similar to what graphite costs right now, which is a major milestone because most of our competitors will probably be 3 or 4x that. And then basically the energy is just less expensive. So as we're trying to drive down the price of cars, that's going to allow us to do more with that. So this is what our particle looks like. We would describe it looks very much like graphite. It acts like graphite. So it can be dropped into a battery with no changes in process or tooling or anything. So it's really an ideal candidate as a replacement. And the information on the right is performance metrics, which if you're in the battery space, you'll realize that that is much best in class in several of those categories. We have a very world-class team here. This is an experienced team. We've got 5 years into this project, on the cusp of being an overnight success. And our advisors, as we look around the industry, these are people that are well-respected and have great access. So here's why it's interesting. McKinsey in the United States just published that in 2030, the minimum is $360 billion. The maximum is probably $419, $420. growing at 30% a year. This is one of the largest business opportunities that's in history, perhaps. And 25% of that is the anode. So if you look at 360 billion, the business opportunity is 90 billion. This is our revenue projections. If you capture a very small part of this marketplace, the profits are large. Materials plays take longer. We're 5 years into this. It'll probably take another 3 to 4 to actually have mass production where we can support the demand. On the bottom, you see a number of logos. I mention those only because those are the people we're engaged with right now in various degrees of discussions to sample, to do collaborative projects and testing and moving forward. Our target raised is 12.2 million, and we are in our 5th round now, in our 5th year, and it is something that we would welcome any in the audience to engage with us and talk further about this. The key opportunity here is to be in really on the ground floor. Our competitors have been hundreds of millions of dollars of investments because they've had to with a much more complex nano-engineering process. This is the last round that we'll take before we're in pilot distribution. Thank you.